Eyes open, mouth shut. I don't, I don't, I feel like, I mean, I have to admit, like, I was, one thing I'll say, right? First of all, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of 511 Thoughts. It's interesting because, like, I think, not to brag or anything, but, I think I have, like, well, first of all, I mean, it's obviously the work, but I think I have, not bad teeth, right? Like, so, it's sort of like, it's like, oh, he's chewing with his mouth open, baby. I want you to show me. I'm trying to show off my best feature. It's like, yeah. Anyway, how was my day? Not bad. I don't know why I did that, dude. I do that, and I'm gonna regret it. And now I'm like, oh, we're only like 50 something seconds in, so it's like, but okay. Let me see. Yeah, so not a bad day. Just same old, same old. Like I said all the time. I so bad. You know what it is like, because so okay. So let's talk about what I did last night. So last night I was sort of browsing through YouTube like usual, and I came across they had like a Woody Allen documentary, and so first of all, like there was I clicked on it, right, and I'm not like other, but for having being shown Woody Allen, I probably wouldn't have clicked on it, right? That's one of those things that I do. Like, I don't. I mean, sometimes I come in with a plan, but usually planning is not like one of those. Whatever you might say about my functions, planning is not. I don't believe I'm like the best planner. I kind of like try. Like, I prefer obviously to improvise, and also like I feel like I sort of react in the moment, right? So I would say, and I don't know, there's a difference between being like strategic, which is where you're sort of like the chess, like, or I don't even know if chess has a strategy. I mean, they say chess is actually the other thing, which is tactics, right? So it's very interesting. Question of the day, right? Do you guys prefer? So, for example, like, I mean, do you guys like chess, or like, do you guys like more strategy games? So strategy, like, whether you would consider chess to be a strategy game or not, I think strategy games I think of are like, what's the game where you sort of do campaigns and you're like taking over continents or something? Isn't it like, it's not World of Warfare, right? I don't know. I'm not a gamer myself. The two games that I use, which are, I believe both of the, like, I think chess has strategy, but it also is a lot of tactics, right? And another game I think is very tactical is poker, right? So I don't know if I told you guys this, but that's another sort of interest of mine, which I guess I'm sharing. I don't know if I feel free to share or not, but I'm just kidding. I'm actually in not a bad mood today, so it's interesting. I've got energy. I do, but yeah. But it's interesting because because there's a correlation between the two, right? Like, you see, like I was looking. By the way, wasn't I supposed to talk about Woody Allen? Woody Allen. Woody Allen. I'm just kidding. I'm so terrible. Anyway, the point is that there was I feel, another thing too is if you change too much, like, I don't think I've shown you this side of me, right? The what I call the giddy side of me. I don't think I've shown you guys this, right? Too much. So I don't want to like put it all out there. Hang it all out. But the thing is that, but wait, there's a correlation between chess and poker, right? So, like, I mean, at least, like, there was like a couple. So obviously, like, poker, Chris Moneymaker, I think, I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a cool guy, and he won the World Series of Poker, and he was like an amateur person. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just took a shot. Like, take a shot. And he, the World Series of Poker, 10 grand, and to win 8 million. And it's like, oh, but you got to beat like 5,000 people. So it's like, yeah, whatever. But, yes, I've considered it, by the way, right? Obviously. If you like poker, you've obviously considered doing it. I've never done it before. But, and obviously it's like 10 grand. I mean, first of all, you'd obviously think about like the odds of like actually cashing out, because like, if you don't have a better than half odds to even like make money, then you're sort of like, why would you do it anyway? But yeah, so the correlation between chess and poker, right? there is a like a lot of chess players seem to like poker, and I'm wondering if that's actually because chess at its I think poker, I mean, I suppose poker is strategic, but each hand you're really playing differently. I mean, you're playing the hand differently with respect to whether the whoever is on the other side of the table against you, right? So in other words, like, there is strategy. Maybe there's more strategy, like, heads up, I guess. I haven't really thought about this. I'm thinking aloud. But I think there's you can have a general sort of strategy that I'm going to try to be balanced. I'm going to try to do whatever, but you're also each hand is typically different. So I don't know. It's interesting. Like, which game do you think is more strategic in that regard? Right? I don't know. I think that I would tend to think that both poker and chess are more tactical than you expect. Obviously, like I said, strategic games, maybe there's like the more like sort of campaigny games that where you have a set goal and you're defending that goal. Those are the games that are more sort of strategy, right? So people who are more strategic, right? People who maybe there's a correlation between sort of like planning and being strategic, right? So if you're sort of looking into the future, you are trying to defend your goals, and you're very sort of like, I just want to get to that goal, then you might be sort of more sort of planning out and sort of strategic. But like I said, I believe I fall into the more like sort of every hand's a different hand, right? You get another hand soon after you fold, to quote another song, right? We're doing a lot of pop culture. It's funny because obviously, like, I feel more relaxed about talking about pop culture and just kind of free flowing, right? So that gets me to, though, a question today. Like I said, what do you guys think about chess and poker? And would you guys consider yourselves to be more tactical or strategic? I don't know. It's interesting. But I'm going to circle back. So Woody Allen, what was I going to say about Woody Allen? It's funny because one thing I was watching a documentary of him, and he's a funny guy. What did I actually have to say about him? I don't know. Just the fact that I was watching him and I was connected with him because of the fact that, like, this is a true story. This is like all real. But like, I mean, at least my perception, it happened to me. That's what makes it real, But I was in high school, and my high school, I was in theater, believe it or not. Like, I don't know, believe it or not. I'm not trying, like, it's funny. No. Okay, here's what I know why I was going to say it now. Anyway, so I was in theater, and I was like auditioning for a role in a play. And and the instructor, after I gave my audition, he didn't like it, by the way. I'm not a very good actor, obviously. But anyway, but he didn't like it, by the way. But one thing he commented, he was like, "Do you know who Woody Allen is?" And at the time, even I was a high schooler, I probably should have known. But I didn't know who he was. And so I was like, I don't know who he is. But he was like, "Oh, you sound just like him." And so it's interesting. And I think that, I don't know that if I sound just like Woody Allen. I think I probably don't anymore. I don't, I think I've, maybe I had an accent before. But however, it does raise an interesting question, right? Because you might ask, right? I mean, there's obviously like sort of regional variations in accents, right? Like, for example, like if you're in the United States, right, you have Southern accents, you have, maybe New York accents, you have Midwestern accents, you have, I think West Coast is more sort of Hollywood generic accent, but I think there are sort of Valley Girl accents, right? And so you have all of these accents, and, you might wonder, like, whether there's something sort of beyond sort of the regional dialect. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's sort of like, maybe he and I are alike on some ways, and that's sort of what sort of makes the accent. I don't know. One thing I'll say, though, which is also gets back to, we're trying to tie things together. But one thing I'll say is that Woody Allen, I think he's got his style, whether actually intentional or not, he comes off, I think part of his charm, right, is that he's sort of unintentionally funny. Right. And that's another thing that I think people say to me, that I'm unintentionally funny. So it's interesting. Yeah. And I don't, you might think that maybe that's sort of a tactical thing, right? You're sort of reacting to stuff. And so when you're reacting to stuff, you don't seem to like people who are more tactical might not have as much of an agenda, and so therefore they're more sort of spontaneous and maybe funny. Anyway, what I will intentionally do is say, have a good rest of your Wednesday. Kind of a chill talk. We should do more of the. I think this is we're gonna strategically transition into talking about other stuff. It's been a wild journey, right, with the COVID and stuff, and so yeah. So yeah. Anyway, but I didn't have a phrase for that. All right. So anyway, have a good rest of your Wednesday, guys. Back at it tomorrow. See ya.